Greetings, sweethearts. How y'all doing today? Oh, happy Tuesday. I am the Moon Mama. You know, the three wise men accessing Christ. They followed the North Star, and the North Star is the equivalent of the North Node in our own natal charts. So we are following this northern light, this to the north, to the higher parts of ourselves. And um, And today we are in a pretty significant shift because the sun is currently in Pisces and the moon is currently in Scorpio. Pisces governs our, Pisces is the materials in the spiritual realm that make up the material realm. Pisces is as above and Virgo is as below. And we just had a new and full moon in Pisces and Virgo. So we're literally bringing spiritual materials out of the spiritual, unseen, unformed realm and into the material realm. We're doing this all the time anyway. You know what I mean? We do it in many, many ways in our life. It's like um, when you drink water, you're drinking spirit, and then when you release that water through urinating, you pour it out uh, through the as above, so below. Everything has a correspondence, and the thing that's really significant about the energy today, I really want to talk about it correctly because it's important. Pisces is what we inherit from our families, from the family system that we're born into. It's that unseen stuff. It's how you're like, oh, such and such talk just like Junie. Such as you look just like your great grandfather. You're all that's Piscean stuff. It's stuff that there is a system behind the reality that's making all of that happen. You don't have to do it. Okay? But it's happening anyway because there is order in place that allows this to occur. Now, because the sun is in the final days of Pisces, today it's at the 28th degree. This is a degree that is ruled by Cancer. Now, Cancer is the actual practicality of your family and your family system. So, Pisces is this spiritual energy that the family energy is functioning in and creating and having children. And then, it's like your mama used to be a good cook and now you're a good cook. And your daddy was a carpenter and now you're a carpenter. It's all of that. And so now in Cancer is where it comes together and it becomes a real thing. So because we have this Piscean energy with the sun in Pisces and this at this Cancer degree, the 28th degree, we have an opportunity to really cut cords with our family patterns that don't serve us. So if your family was running cords of scarcity or challenging relationships, money problems, maybe like my family had all of it, literally all of it. And so I have done the work in my life to undo all of these codes around scarcity, around struggle, around difficulties in love, around my biggest one. This was my biggest one that created the most anger, fear, and frustration in my existence. I was born into a world where they said it was one way, and then when I attempted to do what was said how to do it, it didn't work, right? And so then I started to go, well, maybe it's not working because I'm black. Maybe it's not working because I'm a woman. But the system is rigged. It's rigged not to work. And like things not being what they looked like they were, what they said they were, created deep, deep despair inside of me that I didn't even have language for. I just knew that things look one way, but they really are something else. And so I started not trusting myself. And this is something that comes in my family system. The women in my family don't trust themselves, don't trust their intuition, don't trust their magic, don't trust their power, their abilities. And the ways that they could trust it were sexually, because what does work here in this reality is that men, for lack of a better, I'm gonna just say it the way it's coming out, men want sex. So we might not have the intuition and the power and the abilities and the magic to move them, but we do have sex. And so the women in my family oftentimes collapsed to their sexual powers, magic, really unwillingly. They didn't really want to do it, but that was what worked here, so they did it. And it created so that in my system looks like um, shame around my sexuality, shame around my desires, um, like a collapse of power, because like my mother would use her sexuality to get money and resources, and I didn't want to do that. I felt like it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right for me. It's right for some women though. It just wasn't right for me. That doesn't mean it's not. It just wasn't good for me. So what we're doing in this today, what's really important about today is looking at the patterns in your family. Do the women suffer around love? Are there financial things? Are there health challenges? Um, Are there intellectual challenges? Are there emotional? What are the challenges in your family? What are what we might call the curses of your family, where the things that they just struggle with over and over and over again. No one seems to catch a break. This is a generational karmic thread. Everybody's carrying it in some way, and today is a day that we can cut this motherfucker. Okay, today is a day. So I encourage you to share the video if you know others who would benefit from this information, and take notes, or if it applies to you, take what works and leave the rest. Always take what works and leave the rest. The work that I am doing is really the work that I'm doing in my own life. Because I follow the astrology and I know the astrology applies to everyone, I share because I follow the astrology. That's the reason why I share, because I know that the information that I am experiencing, activating in my own psyche, system, DNA is not being shared. The only person that's kind of doing it a little bit is Joe Dispenza. But Joe Dispenza has a white man's psyche, and so he has a it's good, but it's not the same as what black women carry. Our DNA is different. It's different. We created them. So, you know, we created black women created every race. So we have the codes for everything is what I'm trying to say. So, today with the sun in Pisces, today is a really great day to do some meditation and prayer about yourself, about yourself. And what does that look like? So for me, it looks like holding myself and deeply coming into my experience. I love myself in my body, like, so that the area that you have when you need to use the bathroom, holding that area, holding that perineum where you're holding your pee. You hold that because that is the core creative place, our sex organs, right? That's where we create and generate life. And it's not just about generating a baby or another human, it's about generating a new frequency, a new experience, a new reality through your own system. And as women, we can create our own reality on our own. We have been conditioned to believe that we need a man, that men are our protectors and providers. And on some level, maybe they are. But sometimes, because we're in the dark ages, they are not. Because we are not clean and clear inside of ourselves. We are generating the reality. So when we are at odds with our own masculine energy inside, which is something that comes from my family lineage, when we're at odds with our own masculine energy, we will project men who are at odds with us because our masculine energy is at odds. So, the self love, I love myself. I'm not looking for anything external to validate me and love me, to meet me, to affirm me. I am enough. The sun is shining upon me. It does not need permission from my parents to shine upon me. It shines because that is the nature of this reality, and I am fully deserving and whole. So I really acknowledge my capacity to be with myself. And in that acknowledgement, I also acknowledge the parts of me that feel fearful, threatened, alone, isolated. And I'm gonna meet myself. I know you feel sad and lonely, but I'm here with you. I am enough. I am enough. I'm going to support you. This is the inner child work, like really understand, because the 28th degree is Cancer degree, so that's your inner child. It's like you giving birth to a new. So it's soothing yourself. So I will do a spiritual bath. I will bless my water. I will talk to my body. I will just love myself up, nurturing myself, giving myself all the things that I need that I would expect someone else to give, giving myself the things that I need that I would have wanted my mother to give me. She couldn't do it because she was in her own trauma, her own generational curses. So I am breaking the curse for myself, for my mother, for her mother and her mother through this deep understanding. And then I don't have my journal here with me right now, but when I get home, I'm going to journal about it, right? And then because it's a day to really break cords, I will do a fire ritual. Write down what it is I'm releasing, what it I will write down what it is I'm releasing and what it is I'm accepting, and then I will burn that. And I will give thanks for each of my ancestors because the sun is in Pisces at the 28th degree. And that Pisces is the all. So I'm thankful for all of my ancestors. I name my father, Jesse Ruffin. I name my mother. I'm the daughter of Jesse Ruffin and the daughter of Deborah Louise Cobb. I am the granddaughter of Wilma Cobb and Booker Cobb. I am the granddaughter of Myrtle Walker and Jesse Ruffin. I give thanks for their mothers and their mothers and their mothers and all of the energy and DNA codes that they all produced and brought forward so that I can exist, so that I can be here now with this courage to alchemize and transform the darkest of shadows, the most despair, the pain, the suffering, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the terror of all of the narratives and the stories that my generations have endured. I give thanks for each and every one of you who could carry it forward so that I could be here now. And I share this power with the earth. And I ask that the sun and the air and the sky and the birds and the trees would support me in activating this new nervous system within me that is no longer tied to the old experience, that is free to be who I am born to be, that is anchored under the sky and above the earth and upon the earth, that is carried by the stars, the Palladians, Sirius, all of the light beings that are holding us, holding me, that I may be who I'm meant to be, that I may do the work that I'm here to do, that I may know exactly what step to take, that I may know exactly what choice to make, that I may be able to feel all that is mine to feel and be infused with power because I am capable, because I have the capacity to hold what I am here to hold and to be. And so for this, I am grateful. Thank you. Thank you. And so I know that the truth that I am speaking is not only true for me, but true for all of those who are within the sound of my voice. True for all of those who are open and willing and receptive to the new energies that are coming in right now. We are in the window of the spring equinox. It happens the day after tomorrow, I believe. Today is the 18th. It happens on the 20th, I believe. And so the spring equinox is the birth of the new. So we literally are ending a cycle. We are ending an old reality. The old era is over. It is done. So whatever is still showing up for you from the old era is because you need to clean out. You need to release. You need to let go. And in your letting go, that takes being responsible for what it is you're feeling, what it is you're experiencing, and then being able to narrate it to understand that it's not personal to you, that this is an ancestral thing. And if you can be the one who says, I got this, I can do it, then you free everyone and you can support everyone in your lineage in getting free. We are on the edge of a whole new reality that we don't even understand. I'm talking about it, but I don't really get it. Like Neptune is going to be in Aries. This Neptune is this subconscious Piscean dreamy energy that can be very confusing. So if you have old codes that are tapped in from time periods and timelines that no longer serve you, that energy is going to congest your reality until it is moved, until it is addressed. And so we're going to see a lot of people being very confused and very chaotic. There's a movie on Netflix called Bird Box with Sandra Bullock. Go watch this movie if you want to try to understand what's happening. Bird Box with Sandra Bullock, and it is a very clear movie that depicts people's internal worlds becoming so chaotic that people lose their minds because the inner voice isn't clean, isn't purified, and it's directing you from old narratives and perspectives. So it's looping you back into the karmic patterns and the curses. And the only way out is to cut those cords. But you can't just, maybe some people can, I couldn't. I couldn't just snap my way out of it. I had to literally clean my way out of it. The younger people who are here, they are freer than we are. They don't have as much work to do. But for those of us who are like 40 and up, you're going to have to clean this stuff up. And if you don't clean it up, you will continue to suffer into the old ways of being. So with that, I love you guys so very much. I pray that you have all the wisdom and all the resources and the energy, that you have the energy that you need to shift your reality. Because it takes energy, it takes power. And if you have the energy, then you can access the information and then you can take the actions that are divinely guided for your freedom. If you need support, I am the Moon Mama. You can check me out at healwithmoonmama.com, healwithmoonmama.com, or moniqueruffin.com. And you can book your coaching sessions, your natal chart coaching sessions, any. Right now, I have a Mercury retrograde. Mercury and Venus are in retrograde right now, which is a very powerful time. I think I'm offering coaching in that so you can understand how to use this Mercury retrograde to transform your mind, to create new mental perspectives, new stories, because the story that you tell is the key. The story that you tell is the key. It's like, I was born, I had a mother who functioned as a prostitute, a father who functioned as a pimp, a grandmother who was super fucking religious, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And for a long time, I felt like, oh, my family fucked me up. That was the story I was telling. They were so this, they were so that, they were so this. That story was contaminating my experience. I had to start to look at it from the lens of compassion. It wasn't until I really said, and I had to understand they were doing the best that they could under the circumstances. And I had to begin to understand the circumstances. Oh, we're in the dark ages. Oh, we're dealing with racism. Oh, they took on Christianity. The circumstances constricted their ways of being. And once I started to understand that, then I could see it from compassion and not take it so personally, like, oh, they didn't love me. They didn't take care of me. They didn't give me what I needed. I had to let those narratives go and understood that they gave me everything that they had to give, and they gave me exactly what I needed to launch myself forward. But I couldn't access it until I stopped telling the negative story about it. Further, the story that I was telling about racism and white people, like they're the boogeyman. When I stopped telling that story, I started to benefit from the nature of oppression. Oppression, everything in this reality has a purpose. Everything has a purpose, including oppression. And when I started going, what is the purpose of oppression, and looking into nature to see what nature did with oppression, then I started to benefit from oppression. Nature takes a coal and oppresses it down to a diamond, till a diamond is one of the most strongest materials on the planet. Nature creates it through oppression. So when I started to understand that racism was an experience of oppression and it was being pressed down, so then I started to recognize that there's a benefit for this. If I can use this oppression, it will make me into a diamond. Come on, y'all, we got to get smart, okay? Like, we have to understand that we are in something that is bigger than our own personal experience. We are cosmic beings. We're having a cosmic experience. We're having a universal experience. Your small minded narratives are fucking you up. Let them go. Let them go. If you want to be God, you got to think like a God. You are God. You just have to think like a God. All right. Healwithmoonmama.com. Peace and blessings. I love you all so very much. If you need support, I'm here. Oh gosh, there's one more thing. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, we are having an orientation for Daughters of the 13 Moons for the next cycle that begins. And we will be having an orientation. So if you want to participate in that orientation, send me a private message and I'll send you the link to participate. And Daughters of the 13 Moons is where we are going deep into the work of using the 13 moons, the energy of the 13 moons, to transform our old story into our magic. I'm sharing the general parts of it here, but we go deeper. If you're ready for that, if you're not ready, stay here where it's free and available. But if you're ready to go deeper, Daughters of the 13 Moon is the places for you to be. Okay. Cheetah being Cheetah being elected was for our benefit. That's right. That's right. That is right. He is here to serve us. He is here to help us. If you understand how cosmology works, yeah, he's our Judas, right? If you think about Jesus and how Jesus betrayed Jews, like this is our Judas experience, and you cannot rise without betrayal. You cannot. The two go hand in hand. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. Bye bye.